Hey everyone, thank you so much for being here today. My name is Denise. I'm also known as heywigsister on Instagram and Facebook. Today I want to talk with you about lighting in videos. One of the common challenges that we face as wig wearers is being able to determine color before we purchase a wig. And the manufacturers and retailers in general aren't doing a very good job of helping us with that. So we rely on amateur reviewers and video recorders for this. And I count myself in that group. I have had no prior experience with photographs, with filming videos, with doing any of these things before I started doing reviews. And so a lot of it has been trial and error for me. And the other challenge we face as reviewers is space constraints and financial constraints in purchasing equipment that will help us. So I want to talk with you a little bit about this challenge and what you might be able to do about it yourself. And I also want to be transparent about what I do to try to make sure that I'm showing you as true of color as I possibly can to help you with your wig journey, because I know how hard it is. So if you want to know all about this, then stick around. So when I'm not doing a review, a specific review, I usually try to film in other areas of my house. So when I do my reviews, I have a basement bedroom that has one tiny little egress window to make it a legal bedroom, but no real windows in there. But that's where I film most of my reviews for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's because it takes me a while to get everything set up. So as long as it's down in that room, I can produce more videos. And if I had to set something up in a different area of the house every single time, I would not get as many videos made as I do. Number two, I have 2 dogs, and you can't control when a dog is going to bark. And my dogs are barkers, one of them especially. Every little noise, he barks at it. So if I'm filming up here, this is our sort of living room, kitchen, dining room, great room, inevitably something's going to happen outside, or I'm going to get a delivery and the dogs are going to start barking. At least when I'm downstairs, that's very muffled because I'm behind a couple of doors that I can manage that. But up here, I couldn't. I'd have to stop the video constantly. So that is one of the reasons why I don't film up here, even though if I were to be able to film up here, I could get a lot more natural light. Right now, I'm filming in front of a giant sliding glass door, and I have 3 windows over here, so I actually have a fair amount of natural light on me. I don't have any artificial light on me right now at all, and it is super overcast outside because it's been raining. So as you can see, you know, I don't have any extra light on me, and I'm lit up fairly well. Maybe not good enough for a wig review, but that's the challenge. So when you're watching reviewers, I'm asking you to give a little bit of grace when it comes to lighting and color trueness, because there's so many factors involved, and most of us are just doing this because we love it and we have a passion to help people, but we're not making a living at this. I can see if you were paying us to do this for you, you would have higher expectations and want us to do everything possible to make sure we're giving you a very true representation of the color. But the fact that none of us are really being paid for this, unless we can generate ads on YouTube, which I'll tell you guys a secret, this genre for YouTube doesn't make, the payment on ads is very small. There are other formats on YouTube, other kind of genres or subject matter. If they had the same amount of views I have, they'd probably make double what my ad revenue is. This just isn't a lucrative thing to do. So we're doing this just out of the goodness of our heart. So I ask you to be a little bit generous when it comes to comments about color. We're all trying our best. The other thing that's a real challenge is your monitor. Everybody's monitor is different, and I've had some people send me screenshots of what they were seeing on their monitor and saying what in the world was going on with color, and it didn't, their screenshot looked nothing like what my monitor was showing me. I can't control that. I can't even begin to diagnose that. So please be cautious when you're responding to us, because we sometimes get really mean comments for things that are out of our control and we don't know any better. So, you know, if the manufacturers and the retailers did more of this, there might not be as much of a need for so many women to do reviews and show these wigs on our heads, but they're not. So here we are. Let me just tell you now what I use for lighting, just to give you some ideas in case you're thinking about doing this, or just to give some transparency. So this right here, I have 3 of these. This is an 18-inch ring light. I purchased it on Amazon. I'll put links in the description in case anybody's interested. I've purchased a couple of different models. This is my favorite because it's a little bit sturdier. And these run around $100, $125, so they're not cheap. I used to have a couple of giant box lights like this big, for the kind that maybe professional photographers would have. And unfortunately, when we moved into this house, we downsized, and I do not have the space for those. I barely have the space for 3 of these because that room doubles as an office and as a spare bedroom. So it's kind of a challenge. But this is how I light myself and what I do to try to ensure I am doing the very best I can for you with color trueness. So this ring light, I'm not sure, this is gonna be an experiment. If I turn this on, I'm not sure how this will film, but let's just give it a shot. So I'm gonna turn it on, see if my camera can adjust. I'll turn it away a little bit. So this actually has a setting so you can do super bright, or you can turn it down and have it not be as bright. It also has temperature settings, multiple temperature settings. So right now I've turned it on the warmest temperature setting, and this is the coolest. So in my experimentation with ring lights, I have found that if I have it set closer to the coolest end, not quite the coolest, but pretty close, and I have the volume, the brightness turned up almost all the way, I do that on all 3 of my ring lights. And I think that gives me the best shot at giving you guys good color representation. And this is how I know that. I have experimented with the settings on my camera, different settings on the lights, different brightness on the lights. And then I watched those videos back and I compared what I was seeing on my screen to the wig in my hand. That's really the only way to do it. And also on my cameras, because my screen, and I've also changed my monitors in the past because I had a monitor that did not pull color very true at all. So I really worked hard to get at least one computer monitor that I think pulls color pretty truly, so that I can have a good sense when I'm editing my videos and watching them back, I can have a good sense of whether or not I think it filmed correctly. So that's what I do. So I have these set up. So I have one ring light. So basically I'm not going to take you downstairs, you guys, because that's too difficult. And that room truly is super tiny. So I'll just demonstrate it for you. So basically, if I'm standing here filming, I have a tripod with my camera, and I use an actual camera for my reviews, not my phone, which I am actually using right now as my phone, because I want to do the best I can for you guys in the reviews and give you as true of color as I possibly can. So the camera's on a tripod right in front of me. Directly behind that is one of these ring lights. And then I have one set up just to the side, kind of angled over to the side, and then I have another one angled over to the side. That's my lighting setup. I've thought about trying to do some like what they call key lighting or fill lighting, and I'm just not good enough with that. I watch lots of videos. I really am trying to educate myself as much as possible. I'm not just throwing some things together and slapping a video together. This is super important to me that I do a good job for you guys. And so in all of that, I will tell you guys that even if all my settings are exactly the same every single time, sometimes the color looks a little bit different. Sometimes the wall behind me looks a little bit different. And I don't know if some of that is the lighting playing off the color of clothes that I'm wearing or the color of hair that I have on. There's so many factors, and only really professionals know all the ins and outs. So I'm doing the very best I can. I also want to tell you guys that I have reached out to multiple of you guys, multiple wig sisters on multiple occasions who I know have the same wig and color that I'm reviewing, and I've asked them to watch the video and tell me if they think the color is pulling true based on the wig that they have. I've also done that when I've sold a wig on occasion to a wig sister. I've reached out after they got it and I asked them to do me that favor, to go back, watch the video, look at the wig in their hand, and tell me how close my lighting was. You guys, I've never had somebody tell me it was off. Every single time I've ever done that, the person has said, I think it looks great. I think it looks true to color. And also, I go outside to do the color section of all my videos. So you're seeing the color inside and outside. And I will tell you guys, there's something about synthetic fibers that reflects the light differently than human hair. And it really does change depending on the lighting. It's not noticeable, I don't think, to like a friend or family or people, because they're not looking at you like that. They're not looking at your hair and going, wow, your hair looks such a different color now that we're outside. I've never had that happen to me, but it does change a little bit. And so I see that comment a lot in the videos when someone will say, gosh, that looks completely different outside. It does. I mean, that's just reality. It's not the filming. It's not necessarily my lighting inside. It's just what happens with synthetic wigs when they're reflecting the color off of them. So anyway, I wanted to share this because most of you guys don't know how all this works. You don't know what we know necessarily, and you don't know necessarily what we go through. I can't speak for any other reviewer. I don't know what lighting they're using. I don't know what process they're using. All I can do is share with you my commitment to do as good as I can for you guys in these videos. When I get feedback, I take it to heart and I research and I try to determine if I could be doing something differently, and that's the best I can do. So hopefully that's good enough. Hopefully most of you guys are satisfied with what I'm putting out there and you understand the challenges. And I want to thank my wig sisters who have been guinea pigs for me, or who have done me the favor of kind of watching a video with an eye to color so that they can help me know what everybody else is seeing. It's not going to be perfect. And I am right now spending a lot of time watching videos from beauty influencers to get some ideas about how to maybe change my set. I don't have a set, I have a room that I want the background to at least be conducive to videos. So I'm watching a lot of those to say, gosh, how does that look? And do I feel like I'm getting a really good sense of her hair, her makeup, or whatever it is? And so I may be making some changes in the future. If you have a favorite wig reviewer or beauty influencer and you love that person's set, you think it's so conducive to these kind of videos, you think it helps, it's not distracting, you think it helps provide really good color representation, whatever it might be, please send it my way. I'm truly doing everything I can right now to up my quality and to do make some changes that are positive for you guys. I know the wig journey is hard. I know it's expensive. And the last thing you want to do is make a bad purchase because the person that you were watching didn't give you the best. And so that's what my goal is. So let me know if you guys have any questions. Let me know if this was helpful at all. And I will definitely put links in the description to the ring lights that I have, the camera that I'm using, my favorite tripod, which I purchased a second one so I could have it up in my bedroom, because I've had a lot of tripods, you guys, that are just terrible. They're flimsy. They don't hold the camera straight. It's just this is expensive. I mean, honestly, it wasn't when I first started. So I did a video years ago where I actually showed you my setup when I was filming in my bathroom. Many of you guys will remember the green striped wallpaper behind me. When I first started doing videos, I just put my phone on a little tripod that would fit on my sink countertop, and I just filmed there. I didn't have any lighting. I just used my bathroom lighting. And I did that for a year. And then I, you know, as my channel grew, as I had more wig sisters coming to me for help and support, I added a light in the bathroom, and then made my husband take the wallpaper down because I had gotten some feedback that the stripes were a little bit distracting. And so it's been an evolution since then. So you don't have to spend a ton of money to do this, but the more people who rely on you for this type of information, the more I think it behooves us to really work hard to make sure we're providing accurate and true information to the very best of our amateur abilities. And so that's what I'm attempting to do. So it can be really expensive, a lot of trial and error. I've purchased lots of things that didn't work very well, ring lights that didn't work very well, tripods that were kind of crappy. I mean, so when I ask you guys if you feel led or called to support, I have a little link down to PayPal if you'd like to give me, I call it my tip jar. It's because this is expensive and I want to be able to keep doing this for you guys. I love helping everybody, and I'm so lucky that my channel is monetized. I don't make very much off of it. It certainly doesn't pay my expenses, but the more you guys support me, the more elevated my content is and the quality goes up. So I thank you so much for all of your support. But let me know if you have any other questions. What videos can I make for you besides just wig reviews and tips and tutorials? Are you curious about anything? I'd be happy to help. Thanks for watching, you guys. I love you. I'm so grateful for you, and I'll talk to you soon.